Mom, don't let the Beyonce fans hear this.
Awful experience. It was terrible. I haven't even tasted gumbo yet, but my feelings are so hurt. How Miss Tina did me is, oh my God. I was so embarrassed and so humiliated. I went and finished it out and finished my picture, getting my stuff, but I hate that I purchased from her. She treated me not in a good way. She treated me like I was nothing. I was so excited to meet this lady and thinking that, I could just exchange
something in the gumbo when she told you it would take her 16 to 20 hours to make. What meal besides barbecue takes that long to make? And that's if you're doing like competition barbecue where you're like smoking brisket and you're really trying to get tender meat. No stew or no soup on this planet takes over 16 hours to make. That was her telling you that this ain't just your regular gumbo. And then you go down there and you eat it. And then you come back to us whining about how you sweating and your tummy this and it don't taste right. I don't care. I don't give a how it tastes. You get what you get. And when life starts getting really weird for you,
be the bearer of bad news, but that gumbo is what made me sick. I told you all I called the health department. It says, "Good morning, Erica. This is Justin with the Houston Health Department. I was calling to give you an update on the complaint filed against Mama Tina's Gumbo at the rodeo. In short, the temporary establishment was closed due to inaccuracy between their permit application and the actual food preparation they were conducting. We also discarded all gumbo on site due for the same reason, as well as the food being stored inside unapproved containers. And we cannot verify proper cooling methods for pre-cooked batches of gumbo. At this time, they are not allowed to operate until a new application is submitted. A health officer can verify proper food preparation on site, and the permit is approved and fees paid." So I'm about to call their office, and this is the complaint ID.
What was supposed to be a feel-good celebrity food moment has spiraled into a full-blown scandal that people online are calling everything from disrespectful to downright dangerous. When Tina Knowles quietly launched her gumbo pop-up in Houston, fans expected Southern comfort from a beloved matriarch. But instead, they got viral complaints, health scares, and now, an official shutdown. One woman claimed she left not just disappointed, but humiliated and physically sick, saying the experience was so bad, she contacted the health department herself. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, reports start surfacing that the gumbo may have landed people in the hospital and triggered an investigation that shut the whole operation down in less than a week. So what really happened behind the scenes of Mama Tina's now infamous gumbo spot? And why are people accusing this situation of being way deeper than just bad cooking? What started as a simple bowl of gumbo has now turned into a full-on scandal, with people claiming they got sick, a business getting shut down, and one woman saying she walked away not just disappointed, but humiliated and physically ill. Before she even finished her food, she says something fell off. Within days, complaints started piling up, whispers turned into viral posts, and suddenly the Houston Health Department was stepping in and shutting everything down. And now, people are asking the same question. How did this go so wrong, so fast? When Tina Knowles first announced she was stepping into the food scene with her own gumbo, fans were genuinely excited. This wasn't just anyone. This was the mother of Beyoncé, a woman people associate with class, culture, and Southern roots. Folks expected authenticity, warmth, and a plate that felt like home. For many, it wasn't just about food, it was about supporting a legacy. But that excitement didn't last long. One of the first customers to go viral described an experience that completely shattered those expectations. Instead of feeling welcomed, she said she felt dismissed, disrespected, and treated like she didn't matter. The energy was cold. The interaction left her embarrassed, and what was supposed to be a memorable moment turned into something she said she regretted paying for it all. That same woman quickly became the center of the story, and her account is what pulled so many people into this unfolding drama. She didn't just complain about the service. She claimed the food itself made her sick. According to her, shortly after eating the gumbo, her body reacted in a way she couldn't ignore. nausea, discomfort, and symptoms that escalated quickly enough for her to take it seriously. She went from being a fan excited to support a celebrity-owned business to someone filing an official complaint. And she didn't keep it private. She documented everything, sharing her experience online, which is what caused the story to explode. People began to rally around her, some sharing similar experiences, others questioning whether this was being blown out of proportion. But either way, the attention was now impossible to ignore. And that's when things shifted from internet gossip to something much more serious. Reports started circulating that the Houston Health Department had been contacted, and not long after, they allegedly conducted an inspection. What came next is what really turned heads. The Gumbo operation was shut down. Not temporarily paused, not quietly warned, shut down. According to the claims being shared, inspectors found multiple issues, from how the food was being stored to whether proper preparation procedures were being followed. Some reports even suggested that large batches of gumbo were discarded on the spot. That moment changed the tone of the entire conversation. This wasn't just about one bad review anymore. This was about potential health risks and official intervention. But as serious as that sounds, the internet did what it always does. It took things to a completely different level. Social media exploded with reactions, and not all of them were grounded in reality. Some people kept it straightforward, calling the gumbo unappetizing or overpriced. Others went much further, throwing out wild theories and accusations that quickly gained traction simply because of how outrageous they sounded. There were posts claiming the food looked suspicious, others suggesting something wasn't right about the entire situation, and then there were the more extreme voices pushing bizarre narratives about curses, strange ingredients, and things that had nothing to do with actual evidence. It became a mix of genuine concern, online humor, and pure chaos, all feeding into the same viral storm. And right in the middle of all that noise, one detail kept resurfacing that made people pause: the cooking time. Tina Knowles had reportedly mentioned that her gumbo took anywhere from 15 to 20 hours to prepare. Now, for anyone familiar with cooking, especially Southern dishes, that number raised eyebrows immediately. Gumbo is known for being rich and time-intensive. Yes, but nearly a full day? That's where people started asking questions. Was it just a way of emphasizing quality and effort? Or was there something unusual about the process itself? That single detail became fuel for speculation, with people dissecting it from every angle, trying to figure out whether it was impressive or a red flag hiding in plain sight. And just when people thought this story couldn't get any more serious, this is where the receipts started coming in, and they changed everything. The same woman who went viral with her complaint didn't just stick to telling her story. She came back with what she claims is proof. According to her, after getting sick, she went to seek medical attention, and the results allegedly showed that she had been infected with a dangerous bacterium known as C. diff, something that can cause severe gastrointestinal issues, intense discomfort, and in some cases, even life-threatening complications. She shared what appeared to be test results and details of her diagnosis online, along with information about the treatment she was prescribed. Now, to be clear, there's no official confirmation directly linking her illness to the gumbo itself, but the timing, combined with similar complaints floating around, was enough to make people pause. Suddenly, this wasn't just internet drama anymore. It felt like something that could have real-world consequences, and that uncertainty is what made the situation even more intense. But then, just as quickly as things seemed to shut down, the story took another unexpected turn. After reports of the Gumbo stand being closed following a health inspection, people began noticing that it didn't stay that way for long. Word started spreading that the operation was back up and running again, which immediately raised eyebrows. Because now the question wasn't just about what happened, it was about how things moved so fast behind the scenes. And naturally, once names like Beyoncé and Jay-Z entered the conversation, speculation followed right behind. Some people began to suggest, without any confirmed evidence, that influence or connections might have played a role in getting things reopened so quickly. Again, nothing has been proven, and these remain online rumors. But the perception alone was enough to keep the conversation going and add another layer of intrigue to an already messy situation. At that point, the internet was completely split. On one side, you had people who felt like this situation was being blown out of proportion. Supporters of Tina Knowles argued that not everyone can run a food business perfectly from day one, and that mistakes, if they happen, don't automatically mean malicious intent. They pointed out how quickly things escalated online and questioned whether people were being too harsh, especially given her public image and long-standing reputation. But on the other side, critics weren't letting up. They argued that when it comes to food safety, there's no room for error, regardless of who you are. Some people even went as far as saying that celebrity status shouldn't shield anyone from accountability, especially if customers are claiming they got sick. And in between those two sides were the undecided, people watching closely, trying to figure out what to believe as new details continue to surface. And that's where things stand now, with more questions than answers. Was it really the gumbo that caused these reported illnesses? Or is this a case of unfortunate timing and assumptions spiraling out of control? With a shutdown and reopening handled by the book? Or is there more going on behind the scenes that the public doesn't fully understand? And maybe the biggest question of all, why hasn't Tina Knowles come forward to address any of this directly? Because in situations like this, silence doesn't calm things down. It usually does the opposite. So now the conversation shifts to you, because depending on how you look at it, this is either a misunderstood situation that got out of hand or a serious issue that people are right to question. If you saw all of this unfolding in real time, would you take the risk and try that gumbo yourself? Or is everything you've heard enough to make you stay far away?